All right, welcome to On My Block, Packers podcast, along with Packers all-time leading rusher and now Wisconsin Hall of Fame member Ahman Green. I'm your host, Mike Wall. Thank you for joining us once again. And let's just start off, Ahman, Wisconsin Hall of Fame. Congratulations, my man.
Thank you very much, Mike. Great video. I got a lot of phone calls this week to get caught up on. You're my first. To say currently thank you to send that video, and your name was mentioned as you mentioned in your video. I love that you said that. I was like, I know it. I know he's having a good time with this video. But you, Tausch, Marco, I know I gave the call Marie, my wife, Mike's Flanagan's number, but he didn't get a video in. But I know he's doing well. He's doing well. And a few other guys. Oh, wait. The one best video, though, was Mike Sherman. Oh, my God. He went in on Tausch for some reason. I don't know. Him and Tausch is always...
Tausch is probably in the Packer Hall or in the Wisconsin Hall of Fame, right?
He might be. I don't know. I got to check.
He's got to be. He's home.
Right. But it now, like, as I bring it up, I'm like hearing... I remember those days. Like, they used to go back and forth quite a bit in meetings. A conversation. Or Mike would always try to jump on Tausch for some reason. And he did it again. As he congratulates me, he goes in on Tausch. It was funny. It's
they
classic.
Have the same waistline.
Oh, potentially. Yes, right now. Yeah, it is. Yeah. But no, it was a great time. My family, I said two of my kids were able to make it up because everybody else is working, which is, very
what
proud.
You want.
Yeah, exactly what I want. Family members, 3 of my sisters came up. One from Indiana, one from Ohio, Cincinnati, and the other from DC area. They all came in. So, and it was a fantastic time. We were limited tables. Trust me, I wanted to have a lot of people there, but we only got one table that was like worth $10,000. I'm like, man. So
what?
Yes.
This is how they get you, right?
Exactly. So Donald was a part of it. This is a part of what he does now in his after football. He works with Lammy Sports, so they did a good job with planning the event and getting us all together. Myself, I'm trying to think the other guys. It was a Ted, older guy that broadcast for Milwaukee Sports, so Badgers, Brewers, Bucks, basketball, and all that. And then I'm former linebacker from the 80s, 70s for us. Trying to think. I got my phone right here.
So you're so up, for fans that don't know, Ahman's so humble. He didn't even mention to us. Like his wife had to call us to tell us that he was getting into the Wisconsin Hall of Fame.
Man,
you didn't even mention it.
I mean, I've been so busy, and
you could have flexed a little bit on me. Like, hey, this is another thing that I've done that you haven't.
No, I'm not gonna say that. That is not in my DNA.
While you're looking this up, let me give credit to BetOnline AG for sponsoring us. Cool. BetOnline remains your number one source for your college basketball. College basketball's over. What a couple good.
The men's tonight.
Yeah, we got men's tonight. There was a game yesterday. Get your analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for everything from live games, the conference championships, right through the Final Four championship game. Obviously, BetOnline is your college basketball headquarters this season. So head to BetOnline or head to the website today. Use your mobile device, sign up, and receive your 50% bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your bonus. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. Did you find out who that linebacker is?
Yeah. The other inductees were. It was really cool. So John Anderson played during the early 80s for the Packers. And then my man, his name was Ted Kilner, who was the announcer that I mentioned. And then Raleigh Fingers. Raleigh Fingers, bro.
Was he there?
He was there. I went in with Raleigh Fingers, man. And he was really cool. Still got the mustache. Cool. Still has the mustache. Said he will never, ever cut it for any reason. He said if I do cut it off, it was a mistake. I used the clippers in the wrong way or the razor. Yeah, cool dude. And he has some fun stories about being a Major League Baseball player, pitcher, playing for the teams he played for, Oakland A's and the Brewers. So yeah, it was pretty cool group of I say former athletes and or commentators that helped the game of sports in Wisconsin to go in with them.
Did you have, after you got announced and presented, did you sit down and have a forum with everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So, we all got answered questions by somebody that from the Wisconsin sports market in terms of commentators. And so, so I sat down, talked about, our years together, what my favorite memories was, just playing, working with you guys. I talked about that a lot because, once I got to Green Bay, I had the opportunity to play ball. Being in Seattle, it was a, money thing, free agency. Ricky Waters comes over, I get drafted. We already know who's going to get the lion's share of carries. But I grew as a player though. I had to learn about myself. I learned more about special teams and being a better player there. That's where I'm gonna play, and that's what I got to focus on. You know what? This is what they're gonna give me. I got to take advantage of it. I'm not gonna sit here and mope, not getting the ball. But when I do get the ball, I'm gonna take full advantage. And as you say, flex a little bit. I say my second year when Holmgren came in, I was able to lead the league in third down conversions as a running back.
Mm-hmm.
So that was I was seizing my opportunity. I was only getting, I think for that season, maybe I got 20 touches to the ball, and about half them touches were third down and 1 or fourth down and 1 conversions. And I led the league. I think I had a 76% of conversion rate to get a first down, pretty much. So
let's talk brass tacks about this thing: chicken or fish. What did they have? What do they have? That's how you finish these conversations.
They had braised short ribs.
Well, that's pretty good.
And
that's
they had then for the vegan or vegetarian, they had like a mushroom.
No one cares.
Wisconsin
vegan. There's no such thing as Wisconsin vegan.
Well, they got to have those options on the menu now, bro. This is 2023. People with food allergies. Speaking like a true old lineman who eats.
I'm so tired.
I love it.
I can't tell you how tired I am.
Who's in your house? It got any food? You got any food allergies?
Oh, I just kicked him out of the house. Food allergies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I'm not like, I don't want to minimize. I know I'm minimizing right now. I'm just we're having a little fun.
You silly.
I got to be honest with you. At some point in the evolution of humans, scientists are going to find out what all of a sudden made us so damn weak. And I hope they just squash it like a bug. Figure out what it is, man. What is a gene? Whether it's the way we're raising our kids, squash it like a bug.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on some Packer news, man. It's kind of like,
let's do that.
After this game tonight, this is like, I guess we have NBA Finals, but really
coming up. But we got a month till that.
This is our winter where there's not a whole hell lot. If you're not a basketball fan, like
XFL,
nobody watches baseball except for they got the new pitch count thing. We can talk about that.
I watch some baseball.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but most people are sitting here like, man, I guess we're gonna watch golf and baseball.
They like this.
Comes back, Now there's a lot of mock drafts out. Green Bay Packers are talking. There's a ton of stuff going on. So one thing that's happening is Jackson Smith
in Jigba
is getting a lot of attention as a potential first round draft pick. So wide receiver, first draft pick of the Packers. Would this be the ultimate petty / awesome move by Goody to draft a first round wide receiver the year that Aaron Rodgers leaves?
That
would be like the best thing. That's honestly the best.
Because he's been asking for receivers, right?
Because I don't really, it's whatever they do is what they do. But the best thing they can do for me is just draft a wide receiver.
Because Aaron's been asking for first round wide receivers for years, or free agency pickups like Odell or other receivers that was available during his time on the team. Yes, it would be. It would be like, really? Like now, like the fans would be like, now you draft the first round draft, but it would just be it. Well, I say it would be a good thing because now they got somebody that could come day one and be in the lineup to help out Watson and Dobbs to get their trio together. He's a young guy, but he's at a school, coming out of a school that passed the ball a lot, had a good quarterback. So he's a Stroud, so he understands, and he's from Big Ten country, so the crowd will kind of have an idea who he is.
I wonder if I don't know if there's a receiver that could step. No one's going to step up and take the one spot now from Christian Watson. I think he's probably the default guy. Right. I mean, there's some, everyone's got to clean up their game, but that jump between year one and year two is pretty large usually with these receivers. So Romeo Dobbs is the same thing. Torrey might come back and continue to develop. they're gonna have to bring in a couple of street free agents, and there'll be a couple of guys that surprise you, and they could pick up some second, third round guys. But really, like I look at that room, and just given the fact that that Jordan Love's going to play now, and we have two Pro Bowl level running backs, and you just see like the offense is going to have to evolve. So for me personally, like I wouldn't go first round wide receiver except to just throw it in the face of the old quarterback. That's the only, and not being serious. Like I would sincerely, that would be the only reason, just to be like, it'd be kind of a petty move. But
very pretty. You better hope that petty move pays off. That's all.
Oh, no doubt.
Because if you go with emotion and in a business decision, then obviously that's usually when things go south. So
I think it would be it's not a bad pick. Like if you
it's not a terrible pick, no.
Right, because you're at 15, right? Like at 15, you're not going to get
you're
not going to get the quarterback, you're not going to get the number one tackle, not the number one defensive end, probably not the number two defensive end. But if you picked up a wide receiver that was pretty good, there's some guys that can burn a little bit. Not a bad deal, but given what you know about this, so what I'm saying is, if it's all even and you go like, well, this could stick it to him a little bit. We'll get a little press. Yeah, maybe.
Well, he already done that. We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
When you think about this team right now, day one, so first round draft pick should be a day one starter unless they're the quarterback position, which we love.
Correct.
Should be a day one starter. Knowing what you know about the league as far as like what position you should actually walk in and just start, first of all. You know what you know about the Packers. Who do you think, or what position at least do you think they should go with in the first round? Given everything's on the table. They have pick 15.
Yeah. The best available. I'm thinking offensive line. They have to go best available.
It's not a bad pick.
Any position offensive line.
So
just through the years of what they've seen from health, for playing. Dave beat up, hurt.
Think
Josh
about Brian
Myers.
Balaga as a first round draft pick out of Iowa.
Right.
Like he's not a flash. He's not a flash guy, but
he was there.
Great player.
There. Yeah, he was there. He was consistently there. He only had maybe you could count on one hand how many injuries he had, or he missed a significant amount of time. He didn't miss a lot of games. And I remember his rookie year was the lockout year. I was in Green Bay training at the House of Speed, and he showed up because the facility was shut down to all players and draftees. And he's like, man, I don't know where to go. I say, well, you're in a good spot. We could get it in. I'll show you some stuff. We could talk or whatever about gaming, playing at this next level, what's that's going to be like. And he's like, all right, cool. I said, yeah, I'm here to help, man. Whatever you need. So, yeah, just knowing that he was able to stay, him staying in town, because a lot of people don't stay in Green Bay. You know that.
Yeah.
and especially in a lot, they'll have most guys find any reason to get the hell out of Green Bay.
You got to be from the Midwest to
stay
exactly. You got to be from Iowa, Nebraska.
Yes,
it's just in your
Minnesota.
It's in your veins already.
Michigan. Exactly. So that right there said a lot about him.
Here's three guys. AG. Number one for me, Darnell Wright the right tackle out of Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah.
Phenomenal college player, good athlete. Has great not good hands, has great hands, can work on his bend a little bit, but he's a guy that you look at, to me, is an option that would be an immediate improvement at right tackle. The guard from Alabama, everyone's talking, there's a bunch of guards everybody's talking about. The kid that shows on tape for me for what the Green Bay Packers run is Emil Ikoyer Jr. from Alabama. He could play both guard positions. He could be your swing, he could be your center or backup center in a pinch. Great athlete, again, moves well. His 40 time isn't phenomenal. But when you see this guy moving on film, his bend, he can get in 2-point, he can play out of 3-point.
Right.
He can pull, he can do outside zone, he can do everything you want to do. Good technique, well-trained Alabama kid. Alabama tackles are usually feast and famine. I don't know. I haven't really the track record on guards, but when I watch this guy, he just seems like a plug and play. Probably not going to be he's not going to be an all-pro, but he's going to be a guy that's going to start on your team for 8 years. And then the third guy is there's a kid out of TCU, Steve Villa. He can play guard. And so now you're looking at it really comes down to what position I want to upgrade. Steve Villa is a monster guy. If
6'4".
If our guy doesn't take that second to third year leap, right? Our Ohio State kid, then we're gonna something's gonna have to give. Maybe it's not a bad idea to bring another guy in. John Runyon Jr. has been a solid performer for this team, but listen, if you can bring in a kid who's 330 pounds and can move around a little bit, that's what you want to do. And I think personally, Darnell Wright's a no-brainer because it's an offensive tackle position that for me, that's like the glaring need, because I just feel like
It
a
is.
lot of people don't feel this way, but when we lost Billy Turner, badass Billy Lyon. There's
Badass.
a
Be
throwback. He
like,
should be in the Wisconsin Hall of Fame
yeah,
too.
be like.
Be light. So Billy Turner, when we lost Billy Turner, he's a street free agent right now, by the way. But when we lost Billy Turner, people had no idea how bad that hurt us. When we played the San Francisco 49ers, they put him on the left side instead of the right side, and they put the Dennis Kelly in from the Tennessee Titans over on the right for play against Bosa.
Yeah, I remember
that was the dumbest move that we made. That's the reason we lost that game.
That was tough.
They had three big plays in that game were all Nick Bosa is doing. There's some other positions though, bro. If we wanted to go safety, okay, there's a lot of people in the draft that are thinking like Brian Barnes and a handful of other kids. A kid from Alabama, they play the star position in college, so it's like they can play the slot, then they rotate to safety. They're basically playing three safeties and one kid's in the slot. The problem is, like, we still have Darnell Savage,
right?
So you got to figure out, like, do you think Darnell stays in the slot? Do you think he goes back and they give him another shot at safety? Like, that is really going to be dependent on the decision you make, right?
That's it. Yeah, you don't know. You got to see how he coming in from whenever this mini camp before them starts. The first one is what he looks like, what he's learning, if he's mentally got better. He has the physicals. We already know this. It's just the mental aspect as he progressed, as he studied and looked at this past season film to correct the mistakes, to better his strengths. See that's what I'm looking for as a DB coach, and then I can relay the message to the DC or Matt LaFleur and say, hey, or Goody, who we have to talk to. Hey, this is what I see in Darnell in these mini camps, post draft, stuff like that, to give them a legit reason before training camp gets in there, because there's going to be some players going to have conversation around them once the mini camps and OTAs are over.
Minka Fitzpatrick was a young player that I was around in Miami.
I remember him. Yeah, he was nice.
He's all pro as soon as he goes to Pittsburgh. He's got to be on a good team, right? Brian Barnes, just the way he carries himself reminds me of Minka, and that's an enormous compliment. Okay, but just the way he carries himself, the way he moves on the field, he's just a little bit better athlete than other kids. You know what I mean? That's how Minka walked in, and you're just like, oh, he's you can just tell he was a little bit different than everybody else.
Built different, like physically, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a little it's just like the screws are just a little bit tighter. You know what I mean? He's just a little bit smoother with everything else. Now, LaFleur came out and said one of the things that they liked at the end of last year with the defense was like, okay, we simplified some things, we pulled it back, we let our players play. All right, if that's the case, and we're going to play simple, we want a downhill safety. Antonio Johnson, Texas A&M, bigger body. Yep. He's not a traditional, he's not a cover 4 safety necessarily. You got to be able to move him up and back, but you can start him high and he can alley tackle, which is what you need.
Yes.
Okay.
That's huge.
We've got guys everywhere now. I know we already have 3 first rounders in the secondary, but here's another second, or here's another option for that first round pick. I think either one of those guys would be helpful. And then the third thing, AG, is like you brought up edge, I think last week as an edge defender, and you can never have enough good edge defenders, right? No. And we don't know how much longer Preston. I love Preston Smith, but numbers wise, it always gets difficult. If you don't have 12 sacks and you're getting paid what you're getting paid, like it's only going to last so long. Sean Gary obviously is going to come back. Myles Murphy, I did a show on him last week out of Clemson. He's got some things he's got to work on, particularly on lower body mobility. But man, huge play. Like he's like 6'5", 270. I mean, he's a guy's a monster, right? Maybe 278.
Right.
Fast. He's got everything you want, right? You just got to teach him. You just got to need if he was at Chris Kursick in San Francisco. Like he might be all pro second year. Like he's got that kind of like physical talent. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously the kid, Will Anderson Jr. is going to be gone. We're not going to get Will Anderson Jr. The kid from Alabama.
No.
But the other kid you could look at is the kid from Northwestern. I'm going to butcher his name, right? Adetomiwa Adibawari. 6'2",
not bad.
282. That wasn't bad, right?
Yeah, that was really good.
4.4940. Okay, so you're drafting opportunity. You're drafting talent, knowing that you've already got 2 starters. He's coming in a backup role. 6'2", 282. I'm just telling you from an offensive lineman's perspective, that runs a 4.49.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That is what I look. I just immediately think like, oh shoot, you're sending a bowling ball at me.
Right.
He's not that tall. He's got leverage. He runs that fast, and 282 pounds at defensive end. That's a difference maker if you can run
6'2", man.
Yeah,
he is right? Oh my god. Wow. So yeah, that's a problem. I mean, sub 4.4, I'll say sub 4.5
Yeah, that's
for
fast.
any edge rusher is for that tackle going backwards. It's a problem. It's a track meet pretty much. It's one of those problems where they could get the ball in certain key positions and get off the ball, and then it'd be that moment where that lineman is tired because now it's been a long game or whatever, and you put him in for that package alone his rookie year. That'll be where he could solidify and get better and better from that moment for those situations.
I'm trying to think of a guy who has those dimensions. I don't think there's any guy who ran a
Maybe
four. I mean,
Justin
like he's
Tuck. Oh no,
like
Justin Tuck wasn't that fast.
he's
No, no,
tall.
no.
Well, Justin Tuck is huge too.
No,
Just
he's
Tuck's
big.
6'5", 6'6".
I was just thinking about when you said that because I was thinking about D lineman coming off.
But you think about so James Harrison's not even 6'2". He was short.
No.
He was short. But I can't even like when you just go 6'2", 282, you immediately think of like a pudgy defensive tackle. But then you go 4'9". What? Like those numbers don't even make sense. You know what I mean? He must be
I'll think about it.
It must be all thighs, but he obviously a potential player. Like he wasn't, when you turn on the tape of Northwestern, he's not necessarily jumping off the tape, right? He's a work in progress, but from a number standpoint at pick 15, knowing that we have two guys to kind of help him grow, especially with Sean Gary and like the way that he's improved year to year.
Yeah.
I think it might be an opportunity there.
Yeah, it's going to be whatever their list of, because they got their list on their board of most most needed position. They have that chart, and then when that 15 pick, before that 15 pick come around, when that 13th pick is gone, they'll already be like, all right, let's start getting these names up. Who is still there by the 13th pick? So 2 picks before them, that's what the Packers or any team will be doing. Like, all right, this is our person now because this guy went. Here's 2 more picks, and 2 teams in front of them are going to potentially. There's maybe one of the teams that have a defender and an offensive player, and then find out those picks. All right, this is our person now, who we go for, who we need right now in this locker room, or I'll say on the offense or defensive line, basically, or backfield, whatever on the team. So,
I wonder if a lot of teams will have like their top 50. And they just start going. They literally it just depends what your philosophy is. Like, are you drafting on need or drafting on best player available? Some teams will just be like, just start Xing off guys.
Yep.
And if you get to the 15th pick, there's going to be 14 guys X'd out. Maybe they're in front of your guy. Maybe they're behind your guy. But whatever that guy is, your third guy could still be up there. You still get your third guy. You just, I mean, you really just don't know, right?
Nope.
And then,
you gotta wait
and then
and
what
see.
goes into that is like, for your team, do you think that Bryce Young is actually the number 1 or number 2 guy, or is he like not even on your board? You know what I mean? You can start figuring it out that way. But interesting stuff. I mean, that's how they got Aaron. That's how they got how they drafted up for Jordan Love too. You think about it.
Potentially, yeah. Got it. What we got next here?
Owners meeting.
Ooh, yeah.
We haven't talked about this, so because it happened just right after we did our last show. So Goody comes out a little bit of Aaron dirty laundry a little bit.
Oh yeah. 100%.
LaFleur, I thought LaFleur was as honest as he possibly could be. Like,
yes, he was.
I'm just grateful, like, because I know that he's the reason that we've had success.
Correct.
The whole Goody thing, when you hear Aaron and his interpretation of the event, and then you hear the Goody thing, and I don't know if it really matters one way or the other. I mean, it's just going to end. At some point, this is all going to be over.
Yeah.
But I kind of, you kind of listen to Goody and you go, I could see that being the realistic scenario where I'm trying to call you and you're ghosting me, so to speak.
Yeah.
I could see that being like, I could see that happening.
Yeah. Or he's just saying stuff to add more fuel to the fire. Saying something that he knows that sounds realistic for everyone to buy it, of what he's saying.
I think once you say that, though, like all of this is strategic, right? Once you say that, you're also saying like there's absolutely no chance that Aaron Rodgers will be on this team now.
Yes.
Right? So
I think that's clear. That's clear.
If you're making that,
I believe that's
which leads me to believe they're much closer on the Jets deal than maybe we thought of before he said that. Because you don't open your mouth and talk about Aaron at all, especially in what really came off as disparaging remarks.
Yes.
Unless you know, like, okay, this deal's like we're this close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we're not talking about a first-round draft pick or anything.
Yeah. Whatever they're talking about, they're talking. It's probably almost done for both sides. I would say if I'm for either GM team here, if I'm a Jets or the Pack or Goody, I wanted to get this done as soon as possible. I don't want this lingering into my pull of my mindset going into draft day. I want this done and gone because I want this link like just be a thorn in my side as I'm looking at what we just talked about. My best option to pick somebody or from our needs and wants. I don't want to be thinking about okay, I picked this guy and then I get a tap on my shoulder. Oh yeah, what are we gonna do with who we're giving? What are we giving the Jets? That I was like, no, I want that done before that day even starts up. So
do you think
that's
the
where I'm
Jets
at.
should? Do you think the Jets should talk to Lamar Jackson at all?
I say the GM said it best from a business standpoint. No, they're already in talks with Aaron, and Aaron's been obviously straightforward with them through this whole process. In terms of where he wants to be and where he wants to play right now. So he said, just from a business sense, he said it. Nah, he said it wouldn't look good. So I say from a football standpoint, if it was before all this, that'll be a potential.
I just don't understand. Like for me, and I know how good Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's injury history is like everything that's being put out there is complete nonsense. He got hurt in the pocket this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Last 2 times actually. But Lamar Jackson is 25 years old. You're going to have 10 years minimum,
at least minimum,
of Lamar Jackson in a New York uniform versus 2 years with Aaron. Like you just start going, I don't even know what we're talking about. Like it's such an Lamar Jackson's value to me is so much higher just based on his age.
Yes.
You can only do so much at 39 years old.
You're correct. I mean, and you're saying that's the same. That's to any team that needs a quarterback that's not talking to him right now. You could say the same for every Atlanta, Baltimore. Where he's
the Atlanta thing. The Atlanta. We'll talk about the Atlanta thing.
Yeah,
Let's just talk about it right now. Arthur Blank comes out and says, in my opinion, the injury hit. Is that why is it okay? Or excuse me, let me rephrase this. If Arthur Blank came out and said something good about that player when he's with another team, it's tampering. When he comes out and disparages or questions his ability to finish the season, nobody says anything. Am I missing something? Am I wrong on this?
No, you're not. It's just they got an owner talking, and so I think he's been obviously listening or talking to his staff or getting him information. Probably prepped him to answer that question because he probably knew it would be coming up the slate, up the front. So,
but AG, I didn't think you could. I didn't think a person involved with the Falcons could talk about a player on another team that was not. You see what I'm saying?
No. I get it. That's what I said. I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how this. I mean, I know a little bit about what players can and can't do, and when I heard that, it was like,
It just sounds from an owner's perspective, knowing that, or not knowing, assuming that there's a little bit of everyone's mad at the Browns owner, and the rest of the owners are talking about like we don't want to do this Lamar Jackson deal to set a precedent because the second one will be a precedent.
And I've been saying that the whole time here to people.
So when Arthur Blank comes out and questions the viability of this person to play out the value of the contract, man, it just sounds like collusion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds
100%.
like it's just
100%.
And it could very well just be his opinion, which is fine. But like, are you kidding me? Like the Falcons couldn't use Lamar Jackson?
And
like,
he know. I mean,
give me a break.
And I know as owners should be not the football people in the building, but I know he's paying attention. He knows enough football to know my team needs a quarterback. And I think any team that is not talking to him, it is a shame, and they know they need quarterback. They're going to go this far to prove their point of we can't have a player negotiate without an agent and or his mother, whoever is doing the representation. Mm-hmm. To then, like you said, set a precedent, because then we already know this though. A lot of players do this on their own. We had our teammate do it. We had several of our teammates do this. This is not something that's not a known thing.
Most of these guys have it. It sounds like so. I know multiple guys that work with that work with the group that was just in the media. But
correct.
They have people that know contracts. Now we know some teammates that didn't know anything about contracts, and that is a different Andrew, like our guy Andrew Brandt can mop the floor with a guy who doesn't know anything about contracts, like our old Packers contract guy.
Negotiator, yep.
Right, but most of these guys at this stage would have somebody in their corners. You would assume Lamar has somebody in his corner that knows
Yeah.
how the contracts work. But very at the very base level, 25-year-old, all everything, former MVP, high floor and ceiling, like
Yep.
incredible human. Teammates love him. He just,
City loves him.
yeah, it's just this sucks.
Yeah, it sucks to see this for him because he should be just rehabbing, getting ready. Not even rehabbing, just getting better ready for the next season. And the team that should be, have him signed up. If it's the Ravens or him, he should be on the team right now. And him still floating around is not good. Not
Let's
good
go
for
back.
the league.
Let's go back to Green Bay real quick. Somebody asked me
Yep.
this question on a show last week, and somebody asked me, like, do you think Matt LaFleur is a good coach? And let's, without answering that question, what do you think what is this season, Ahman, going to show about Matt LaFleur and his staff?
Oh, that they are coaches, that they are good coaches, because now you're working with players, a young player, a young quarterback. Let's start there first, and getting him to play at a top level his first year in running the team, from a field general standpoint. So he's the guy that's going to call the plays. He's going to guy to make some of the audibles between him and offensive linemen and him and the receivers, and he's going to make those decisions that every quarterback has to make. Should I throw it here? If it looks like it's press coverage, but the safety is out of position, or cover two and the safety's there. So he's going to make those decisions now, getting that player ready for that, getting Jordan Love ready for those situations mentally, and then the rest of the team. Other coaches coaching their receivers up, saying, "Hey, we got a young quarterback. Let's help him out by doing this."
What about
Linemen,
fixing all the stuff that we've been talking about for 2
oh yeah,
years?
defense,
Right?
defense, every tight end situation is going to be because Tunyon's gone. A guy they knew they could
Mercedes
at
Lewis
least.
might be gone.
He's not back yet, and they have time for that. And so this is going to show how good they are as a coaching staff, because then coaches that are good, no matter who they have, they coach them up. Basically, they coach that athlete up and say, "Hey, at the end of the day, I know my player is going to do their job, because this is what I'm showing them every single day, how I'm making them better every single day by watching film, breaking them down to say, hey, this is your weaknesses, these are your strengths. This is what I need you to do next time when you're in that situation. This is where you should have put your hands, get out that block, or make that block, or what have you. You're doing, as a coach, your focus on that player is 100%, in those, for every guy that's in the room for your position."
So with that said, what did you make of Coach LaFleur setting the bar? Maybe not. I don't want to say he set the bar low, but saying that, hey, listen, he's not going to be 4-time MVP. Instead of just saying, like, look, this is he's a first-round draft pick.
Yeah,
it's his 4th year in the league. Like, yeah, we expect him to be pretty damn good. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting rid of the Hall of Famer.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like why not? In other words, why not come out and just go, you know what? Hell, we think he's really good. That's why he's playing. Have any expectations you want. We think he's going to be a hell of a player. You think when Andy Reid got rid of Smith?
Oh, Alex
Smith?
Yeah.
Alex Smith, to get Pat after they went to the playoffs. Andy Reid wasn't like, well, Patrick, and I know that's not a fair,
it was none of that. I remember. I remember the conversation that he had after that. He knew right away. I think a lot of us. I know I knew. I saw stuff on Pat Mahomes when he was at Texas Tech, and then when I found out he played baseball, I'm like, ooh, he's gonna be a problem.
But I'm just talking about like the way that Andy Reid presented that. He's like, look, we're getting rid of a Pro Bowl guy who just led us to the playoffs because we believe that this guy is that good.
Yes.
At some point, you have to say, like,
you have to do that.
If you're confident with your process, you're confident what you do, you got to come out and say, we drafted this guy first round. We think he's that good that we're willing to part ways with a Hall of Fame player. Because whether you like it or not, whether you try to lower expectations or set some precedent or create your own narrative, dude, there is not a single person in America that watches football that is not going to watch Jordan Love and go, could Aaron Rodgers have done better? So this is where you're at, man. You might as well embrace it.
Yeah,
my opinion.
You gotta say this is our guy. We're rolling with him pretty much.
This is what we talk about. Yep. Put it on the table, man. Let's see. Let's see what you're working with.
Exactly. Exactamundo.
All right, bro. I got something for you this week because you are not only a player, Wisconsin Hall of Fame player, but also you've at the coach. You've coached, you've scouted players, you've helped,
Yep.
you've mentored. Let's go by position. I was thinking of this because we watch the combine sometimes, and we've talked about like some of the
Yep.
drills they do and whatnot, and lifts and bench press and blah blah blah. Okay, it's all good. It's all fine and dandy. But let's go by position. And if you could just pick either a drill, your own drill, a drill that you see in the combine, whatever you want, or is there a lift? What is like the one thing if you could just I have to cut the herd. I want to see this lift, this drill. Let's go through by position. Running back. You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, no, 100%. I get
Okay,
it. I get it. So
for running back, what do you think?
So the first one after 40, everybody's gonna be fast, be 4-4, 4-3. I want to see change of direction. I want to see how fast this player stops and goes, because that determines how he's gonna break tackles or make defenders miss. That's the quality that I had. That was a quality, guys like, we talk about the running backs of the ages, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton. That stop and go is that hesitation sometimes puts a defender in a position where, one, business decisions. Two, what is he doing? Is he about to run me over? Is he about to run by me? And a lot of the good players knew how to use that to their advantage, because what I did was physical first. I'm gonna hit you the first time you tackle me. I'm gonna hit you as hard as I possibly can. And then now I got you, because I could mess around, just like we talk about with defensive linemen and their moves and how they're gonna, get the attention of the offensive lineman and with the bull rush and then go from there. So do the same thing. So I'm looking at change of direction for running backs to make sure,
like a short shuttle.
Short shuttle to even how they have them at the NFL combine, where they get the ball, they go to the high knees and they make quick cuts and get upfield, just to see that in motion. But then doing something, it's just one drill I remember. It was really cool. It was like your outside footwork steps in the outside zone play, and you had a ball rolling. You put like one of the physio balls that was in our weight rooms. You roll that as they're coming in and getting the handoff. The ball, you could start the roll, slow, fast, or whatever. So it just makes them do an organic, like, it is not nothing.
React.
That's a reaction. You see that ball rolling. That's the defender trying to take your legs out. What are you going to do? You going to bounce it, or you going to make a move and get up and get north? After you make that lateral move, then I want to see you get upfield, gain yards. So those right there for a running back.
I said it's kind of the same thought process, right? I just want to see how explosive that athlete really is. So I wanted to see. Yes. I want to see what your max squat is. I just want to know what your max squat is.
Yep.
That's I want to know what your broad jump is. I just want to see your broad jump. Like just for explosion, right? Simple. Yep. All the things. All the things you said.
Yep. Broad, vertical it counts in there.
Offensive line. I bet you and I may be different here. What do you think for offensive line?
We definitely gonna be different. I'm gonna go footwork drills. Any type of footwork drills where they gotta go backwards or lateral. Okay. And then bench press.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm with you. So
because I know when I watched y'all, you, Flanny, Marco, Taos, Chad, KB, foot movement was huge, because I could tell what y'all had to do and stay in unison. If y'all had on the ET picking up the blitzes, so I knew how that was number one for y'all, footwork.
So for me, and everyone's got different, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a different body type and everything. But here's what I mean. If I had to cut the herd, I want to see your 40 time. I know everyone's going, 40 time. I've never seen a bad offensive lineman run a sub-5. Ever. There's not one bad offensive lineman.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yes.
I want to see your power clean or your hand clean. I want to see
hip thrust.
I want to see how explosive you are.
Yep.
And
hip thrust.
If I really want, if I had 3, I would put everybody on the ground and make them bear crawl and see who could bear crawl.
Ooh, that's core and upper. That's full body strength. That's full body
core and coordination.
Yep.
Are you comfortable being uncomfortable? Can you play? Can you make your body play low?
Yes.
Right.
Because sometimes y'all got to do that rugby scrum on 4th and 1 conversions. That too.
That's the rule. I know. I had a great conversation about that. We'll get into. Okay, linebackers. What do you think about linebackers? Probably the same as running backs a little bit. Huh?
Almost a little bit similar. I wouldn't mind looking at a linebacker first off, seeing his first straight ahead speed. Because then we got a 4.4 linebacker, which they do exist. Then that equals the playing field on how fast he hits the gap, and then I want to see his play recognition. Yeah. I don't know if it's a drill where I remember I coached linebackers for a couple of years at the high school level, but I always showed them that take that false step. I said, as you're taking your false reads, it's a read step.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching where if there's a fullback in the
Mm-hmm.
backfield, which most of the high schools do in Wisconsin, but as we know, pro is not. So you're following quarterback to whatever that running back's doing. You take that read step, then you know right away, okay, this is a run, and you're shooting a gap, or you're doing your responsibility. If you got a blitz, or you got to go into coverage, or it's a pass, boom, boom, I'm getting out of here. Getting my guy. So so I say 40 speed, play recognition.
Nice.
There.
I put I want to see them drop, change the direction, and be able to break down on a tackle. I want to see how they break down. So I want to see what the deceleration looks like.
That's my 1A or 1B. That's my 1B. Actually, no, that's my 1A. I'll take that back. That's my 1A. You got to tackle. And
so to roll into DBs, I'll just pile on here. DBs, I want to see how you decelerate. That's my number one thing, because I assume you're fast. Yes. I want to see how you decelerate. And then I don't want to see your 40 time. I want to see your 100-meter time, because if you're one of my DBs, you'd be damn sure you ran track.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because, you're running. You got to be top end speed.
Over
80% of the game.
Yep.
Over and over again. I watch those DBs. I remember seeing DBs. Even I watch it in games now where you see a wide receiver run like 2 or 3 deep routes, and then he comes out. And then you can't. It's hard to do that with DBs, because
they can see a new guy running 9.
Right.
So that's a strategy.
That DB should be like, oh, you know what? All right, he better be, like you said, in track shape, running all day, because you got to deal with guys like Tyreek Hill and Waddle and Watson, even though they're still young, Watson and Dobbs. So you got to be one of those DBs. Your lung capacity and your in speed, your speed endurance is there. It's top end.
So last one, you just talked about the wide receivers. What do you choose for a wide receiver? A drill, a strength demonstration? What do you think?
I would say beyond, obviously 40. That's one guy I'm a peek at, but I'm not gonna just put my whole decision on there. After that is how they adjust to the ball in the air, how they follow the ball with their eyes and hands. And then when it gets right into the hand area, how they just pluck it out of the sky. I want to see that hand coordination of, even if their eyes doesn't catch it, they still have a pretty good feel of where that ball is going to end up for their hands to catch it. Because sometimes your eyes don't even get a chance to find the ball when the ball's in the air, especially the overhead catches. Those are the hardest catches. So, you see a ball
that
here.
Blind spot.
Yeah, when you're doing this, I playing baseball, catching over the head passes in the game. When you go from here to here, that's a big change. We go boom, boom. So it's knowing, like, when I go here, that means I got to already have my hands going here because I know the ball's coming here. So you just change that over real fast. How fast and quick, and then obviously how many balls they catch in the drill from that. And that tells me a lot about a wide receiver, that they don't panic. They're comfortable switching over from an inside shoulder catch to an outside shoulder catch.
I tend to think that we can teach them. I tend to think that we can teach a receiver how to catch, given you have the right drills, development, etc. The guys that are the Jarvis Landrys of the world, the better off you're going to be.
Odell, all those guys. Yes.
So the two things I would want to see is, there's a lot of receivers who can't come in and out of breaks very well. So I want to see their change of direction, and a lot of it has to do with like ankle mobility. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that.
Yep.
But then the other thing I want to see, and this sounds crazy, I want to see what they bench press, because I want to see what kind of body armor they have. And I want to see if they can make contested catches. And I also, for me personally, I want to see if they're going to be avid blockers, like enthusiastic blockers. You got to have a little size to you, right? So I want a guy that fills out his pads, even if he's 6'2" and he weighs 215 pounds. Like, is he rocked up? Like, can he fight? Jalen Ramsey's playing press man on you. Can you fight off the ball? Like, can you have that confrontation with people? Do you have that body armor? So
but I like it. I like that. I agree with that. Blocking for a wide receiver at any level, at every level, is important, because it shows that you're a football player. You're not just a guy who's out there just catching balls. You're not just an outfielder. This is football. You got to do everything. So there you go.
All Get off my lawn.
Get out of here. Heck yeah.
All right, I got 2 here. I got 2 here that I wanted to hit. I think we'll hit the second one first, AG, with the NFL tries to take the pun away and so we saw the owners meeting. So the
Yeah.
NFL tries to take the punt away, and they're talking about player safety. Okay, and so what happened? What they basically said was, if you kick the ball in to the end zone, then the ball gets to the 25 now, not the 20. Okay, because they're trying to say, oh well, it's in the interest of player safety because the second most injury, the highest injury rate is kickoff returns. They dealt with that, and the second most is punt returns. They dealt with that, and the injury rate is very, very low, and it's for these very small handful of players that have to run all 4 core positions. Okay,
Right.
but then they double down and go, but we're going to allow multiple teams to play multiple weeks of Thursday night football games, knowing full well, right, what that has to. First of all, the quality of that game has gone down because of the preparation time. And now they're suggesting, oh, well, we can have, hypothetically, the Packers could go Sunday, Thursday, bye week, whatever, weekend off, Sunday, Thursday again. Here's what happens, right? You put Gene Upshaw was a player.
Yep.
So Gene Upshaw was the NFLPA leader.
President.
Before D. Smith. Okay. He was a player. So when we went into negotiations, you went into negotiations from the guise of a former player. DeMaurice Smith is a
lawyer, I believe lawyer.
He is a lawyer who has dealt with union issues, arbitration, for his career.
Yeah.
So he understands that they're looking for is concessions. And what are the concessions? The concessions are time, money, and working conditions, right? When we have these union talks. So that's what's on his menu, right?
Yeah.
So can we increase the money? No. Okay, so what did they do? They reduced the time. So now practices are shorter.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Training's
now working.
shorter.
Yeah. Now working. So all of the stuff that it's a damn shame because we continue to allow the owners to do things that are not in the best interest of the sport or the players in order for them to make more money. And for whatever reason, and I get it, like we talked about Lamar Jackson's contract and this and that. We talked about it last week. Like they're making so much money. At some point, you have to focus on, okay, how do I put myself I'm already making generational money.
Correct.
How do I put myself in a position now to be the best version of me so I can play longer, have a better career, meet more people because of the exploits that I'm able to perform on the field. And we're just taking that away instead of trying to maximize, like literally maximize the amount. You have a finite amount of time in this league, regardless of how many practices you take away, all of this stuff. You have a finite amount of time. How do you maximize that time to become the best version of you versus all of these concessions? And then they pull in this, and the whole thing kind of makes me sick, honestly.
When I'm reading this last night, and I have been, I've been busy with things as everybody knows. So yeah, I'm reading this. I'm like, wait a minute, you're literally contradicting yourself here. I think they're looking at they're putting their weight in the extra bye week part of it, where they're getting the rest there. But you still
the extra bye week's going to go to what, AG?
No, I'm saying no,
games.
Exactly. So I'm like, that doesn't add up because you really forget about that time between the Sunday game. If it doesn't matter, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, midnight game, night game being the worst option, then you play on Thursday night. That right there, I mean, those days is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of recovery, and if you're a run first team like the Ravens, like the 49ers, brutal and very hard hitting defense, that 3 days is literally nothing. It means nothing to the human body. You need a full week to play, and it's football. I'm not saying those teams, but every team plays hard. Every player plays hard. Majority of the roster is getting hit or being hit, or are creating tackles. So it's just like, wait a minute. You take away, you modify a special team again, because they've been modifying the kickoff since probably 2019 or whatever. And now you do this to the punt, but still you in the whole game time, you bring in a whole another game potentially for some teams having back-to-back, or not back-to-back, but double Thursday night football games, which when I heard about this, when I was playing, it was right towards the end of our career. We were still playing when they started it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
I looked at the schedule like I was like, I just looked at what I did was how much sleep I could get and how many massages I could get in a 3-day period. That's how I
Right.
looked at.
No,
That's how I
it's
looked
true.
at it.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it. I was like, this because that's the only thing that's gonna help me get ready for Thursday. For Thursday, if I don't come out of Saturday with an injury, with the ankle or knee
You're just
or
trying
a
to
shoulder.
gut it because you got the 3 days or 4 days off, after the
That's
Thursday
it.
game, but you just kind of you get your mindset into like, I'm just gonna gut this out. But the game plan change, everything has to change. This is what like the fans
Yes.
and the fans don't care, right? But it's like this is what they don't see is like the game plan changes. The playbook's gonna be
Everything.
whatever
Who's
you did the week
available?
before, like 90% of that's gonna be the week after.
Yep.
And yeah, are you working with your third string guard now because your other guy can't get back in time, or
Yeah,
are you losing a guy 2 weeks from now because you just acutely loaded him too often?
back to yeah.
You know what I mean? Back to back.
Back to back.
It's just so hypocritical. All right,
Yeah.
the last one here, and you got me to try to watch NCAA women's basketball,
But
and I tried.
yeah.
I did try. And here's what I figured out. Okay. First of all, it's general statement. The guard play in women's basketball is entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
The guard play. Okay. The rest of it, I'm not going to watch it.
Right.
But the guard play, I'm talking about it. They play low. They play fast. They can change direction. They got handles. They can shoot. They play great defense. They're fit. They're athletes. You can see the definition in their cat. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see that they're working their. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
I've never. This is unprecedented for me to say this. It's entertaining. Okay. So last night they have this game, and I'm saying this, admitting that I've watched a total of 20 minutes. So I don't know what's going on. I just know that their girl from Iowa,
Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark, she scored a bunch of points, and then yesterday this girl Reese won. LSU won.
Yeah.
And she started doing this at the end of the game, after the game is already in hand. She started doing the John Cena and the calling her loser and trash talk. And I guess the Caitlin Clark girl does some of this stuff. Here's what I think. Like, honestly, AG,
right.
This is what makes it unwatchable. Like, what are we doing? Like you have to.
They're learning how to trash talk.
Yeah, it's like It's like somebody brought up on a show at ESPN this morning, like, well, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird trash talk. I go, no, Michael Jordan and Larry Bird would dunk on somebody or bang a three in your face and then talk to you on the way down.
Yeah,
they didn't. As they were winning their world championship, they didn't run over to the other side and make sure that like somebody else knew that they were talking trash.
Right, they were winning. They were talking trash. Right, they were talking trash regardless of the score.
They were talking trash during the game, and then when the game was over, they were over with their teammates celebrating or dealing with the loss. It wasn't like spotlight. I think that's where like all the other stuff, like you lose me on a little bit with this, right?
Yeah,
like
this
should be a different focus, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just got to learn the timing of the trash talk and how you start that. You start it regardless of the score because it's something where you got to do. Not only am I physically going to beat you, now I'm going to mentally get in your head because then every shot I hit after that is more mentalness. The mental trash talk that I'm doing because I'm killing you right now. Oh, another three. Boom. That's because that was MJ. That was Larry Bird learned, or MJ learned from Larry Bird.
Right.
He would hit a three and he's like, you give up
Larry
yet?
Bird would tell you where he's shooting.
He said, I'm about to shoot from the corner and I'm going to sink it. And then let me know how many you want me to make from there. Just continue. And this is winning and losing. It's first quarter, second quarter.
That's what I do. So when I because again, like I'm kind of coming into this, and then there's racial overtones here. There's societal. There's a bunch of stuff as there always is.
Yes.
But my first thought was, well, did she do it in the first quarter or not? Because if she didn't do it in the first quarter and she's doing it at the very end of the game, I'm like, well,
right.
What are we talking about? This is what makes it difficult to consume.
Correct. Well, I know for that game, I didn't get home until it was third quarter. That's when I turned the game on. Actually, I got home, but I was like almost passed out because I was tired from all the traveling. But yeah, I turned it on third quarter, and that's when but I know from previous, so the final four games for Iowa and South Carolina, I watched that game fully, and the whole game, Caitlin, like I mentioned, she's
chirping.
she's
The whole
chirping.
game.
She's
That's what
doing
I'm
the Hulk
saying.
Hogan thing. She's like going to the Iowa crowd, putting her ears up, like saying, like, get up. So
if you're gonna be that person, you be that person the whole, like, hey, I'm 100%, or like if I'm and I believe the LSU woman, I believe she got player of the tournament. And so I think she's a really, really high level. I don't know anything about basketball.
She's gonna be a first round WNBA draft pick.
She's a high level player, and I think I saw her stats this morning. I mean, she's a double machine and all this stuff, right?
Right.
So she's a high level player. But my only take on this anything is just like, if you're not doing it in the first, second, third quarter, fourth quarter, don't come at me at the end of the game like, oh yeah, L, and do all this stuff. Like, you gotta be that dude the whole time, right?
Yeah, be that player. Exactly. I get that. Like, I didn't trash talk, but yeah, for the ones that did trash talk me, I'm like, you wasn't saying that in the first half, so I'm not even paying attention to you right now. I don't care if we're losing or not. And
we ain't looking for front runners around here,
right? I'm like, talk trash from. I get. I am 100% agreement. It's like when I came across a player, college or pro, that was a good trash talker, I paid attention to when they did. And I say, for the ones that did it right, they started from the beginning of the game, win or lose, to the end of the game. And some guys just did it. That's because of their personality. I say the ones that realized that, okay, I shouldn't have crash talk in the first place. I remember we played Tennessee, and it was they had J.R. Henderson, D lineman, and he first play of the game, first quarter, he tackles me for loss. AG, Ahman, this is how we play in the SEC. I'm like, okay, it's first quarter. That's all I said to him. It's first quarter. I said, good play. I said, all right, just say something to me. Just let me know how it's going in the fourth quarter. And he's like, what? I'm like, all right, talk to you later. Bye. Fourth quarter comes around. Scott has 2 touchdowns. I have 2 touchdowns. I have 200 yards and end up becoming the MVP. And I was like, JR, what's up? He said, man, y'all good. I said, that's okay. I was like, trash talk me all you want, but it's a 4-quarter game. So that's all I want to, that's all I'm waiting to see at the end of the game. That's it, bro.
That's the thing I should make very, very clear. This is not a gender specific problem.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's
a competition thing. It's a competitor.
And you know what's funny is, like, no matter how old you get, to your point, you could be a high school, college, even pro guys. Everyone's always learning. There's only a few guys that are just masters at making you feel like a dope. You know what I mean? There's only a few guys that are really good at. There's other guys that can, you can get some of the ESPN stuff, and like I saw like Pat Beverly's doing like this to LeBron, like doing
they're doing the little like they do the hand on the little thing. That's the thing now.
Like, oh, that's like, how cute, man, because LeBron's 6'8" and 265, and you're like, you're not. Like, I think that's really cute that you did that. You know what I mean? But like, that's not talking. Like, to me, that's not talking trash. Like, that's literally him trying to get on ESPN because. Dude, what?
And that's the perfect analogy, because that's the new thing where they put their hand on the ground, like they're calling you a little kid. You just got I just little kid you, and that's where some of the ladies were doing that. I say prematurely in that game because it was the third quarter, and I saw I think it was Morris that you're talking about or it's not Morris, it was their center. She did that on a rebound and she put it back up, and she did that. And I'm like, it's third quarter. What are you doing? I'm like, and then they're coming back.
Do it all game, but like, so that at that one, bro, that's when I'm like, if the distance between your feet and the ground doesn't exceed like 20 inches, I don't know. You pick it 10 inches, pick a number.
I think they do. It's like below the waist. It's below the waist. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
that's the trash talking part. So yeah, they just be a little bit premature on it, and that's why in the first place my brother said don't trash talk at all. Just play your game. Just go.
This is why I feel like fighters are just so much better than us. Because fighters will, just to hype up a show, they'll trash talk.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh yeah, and by the way, at the end of this trash talking, we're fighting. Like we are literally, they're locking the door and we're fighting, and there's nothing good that can come of this, right?
Yeah.
But this is what we're doing. All right.
Exactly. Make it happen.
Well, listen, man, this is one of those conversations. Honestly, if we wanted to get serious about it, you could have for a long time, because it's there's a lot that goes into it, but not for us. Not for us today. AG, where can we find you, bud?
Man, find me on Instagram and Twitter, Ahman Green 30, all one word, and also the Gamers Lounge on Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge on TikTok.
Yes.
So, Mike, let everybody know where they can find you.
MikeWell68 on Twitter, Process to Perform on Instagram. You can check this out. Hit the subscribe button on the Process to Perform page on YouTube. AG, pleasure as always, man.
See you later.